Welcome and thank you for joining us. It's Friday, June 28th. You're watching News 2 on VIA Channel 4 and 504. I'm Leslie Camise-Young. Topping our stories tonight, with the long-standing opposition by taxi drivers against a mandatory credit card payment option in their industry, it was a bit of a surprise that the bill made it through various committees and onto the floor during a Senate session earlier this week, only to have it taken off the agenda. According to Senate Majority Leader Senator Marvin Blyden, he knew the bill did not have enough votes, so holding it in committee was a better move than letting it die. Blyden said most of the issues his colleagues had on the bill was parity, as some taxi drivers said they felt they were being targeted. Bill sponsor Senator Kurt Violet said while the bill stalled that day, another one is coming that would impact all businesses, not just taxi drivers. Here's more from that Senate session.
I'm a bit perplexed that in the 21st century, a century where we have apps to do a million things, that we're scared or we take pause in moving to accept any type of electronic payments for taxi cabs. And it is a companion bill that is going to come before this body, 33-0098, that is going to literally have the same requirements for all businesses in the Virgin Islands. So the both bills will come at the end of this month, and we'll have an opportunity to make sure that the Virgin Islands move into the 21st century.
1 minute.
At the end of the day, I support that bill. However, I believe that the constituents should have buy-in. And if it means we have to pause just to hear what they have to say, then I am all for it.
The problem is with change. You cannot be held hostage by special interest groups. The NRA has the Republican Party held hostage. We are supposed to look out for the Virgin Islands. The U.S. Supreme Court pushed for marriage equality. Brown versus the Board of Education. Those are Supreme Court cases. You had the legislations, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the American Disabilities Act, Roe versus Wade. I could go on. We had to force change upon people because they refused to change. Are we going to adjust? But at some point, we have to make tough decisions, even if it costs us our term.
Meanwhile, Carlton Dow, former chief of the Virgin Islands Port Authority, is back at the agency as the executive director. The Port Authority Board of Directors named Dow the new executive director at the board's scheduled meeting held this week. Dow was chosen from among the top 3 finalists interviewing for the director position, according to the Port Authority. Dow previously served as the agency's director from 2013 to 2016. Dow's previous tenure at the Port Authority ended during the MAP administration at a time when many employees in leadership and rank-and-file positions were being laid off. Dow has over 25 years of public experience. He was the youngest fire chief in Virgin Islands history and served 5 terms as a senator. He will take the helm at the Port Authority on July 8th. After managing the Virgin Islands tourism product for almost 12 years, former Virgin Islands Tourism Commissioner Beverly Nicholson-Doty has found a new home. The board of directors at the St. Lucia Tourism Authority recently appointed Nicholson-Doty as the organization's chief executive officer. As CEO, she will be responsible for overall management of the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, including oversight of the development of the authority's marketing and destination services. Nicholson-Doty served as the U.S. Virgin Islands Commissioner of Tourism for just over a decade, from about 2007 to 2018, under both the DeYoung and Mapp administrations. Her term ended when she submitted her resignation to Governor Mapp in December of last year. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett's office recently announced a $2 million grant from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The grant would benefit the Virgin Islands Department of Health Group for the Immunization and Vaccines for Children's program. According to the delegate, this is an important grant when it comes to protecting the children of the Virgin Islands from more than a dozen diseases such as measles, polio, tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis, or whooping cough. Congresswoman Plaskett said children must get at least some vaccines before they attend school, and that most of these diseases are now at their lowest levels in history thanks to the years of immunization. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention publishes a schedule for childhood vaccines. You can go to www.cdc.gov for more information. Turning our attention to crime, police on St. Croix have made an arrest on the car crash that killed 5-year-old Penelope Tutine. On June 24th, police arrested and charged 43-year-old Marcus Arroyo Torres for vehicular homicide and manslaughter, negligent driving, and failure to stay far as left as possible. On June 23rd, 7:33 p.m., two cars collided in the area of Peters Rest Road, west of the Cool Out Bar intersection. According to police, the collision involved a 4-door gray Dodge Durango driven by a 28-year-old female and a brown Chevy S10 pickup truck driven by a 43-year-old male driver. The Dodge Durango was heading eastbound and the Chevy S10 was heading westbound when the Chevy merged into the eastbound lane, causing a head-on collision. The Dodge Durango flipped twice, causing the two minor passengers in the backseat to be partially ejected from the car. Citizens on the scene helped to push the vehicle off both minors and remove them both from under the vehicle. Penelope Tutine, the 5-year-old minor girl in the Dodge Durango, unfortunately succumbed to her injuries at around 1:33 a.m. at the Wang F. Louis Hospital. Arroyo Torres his bail was set at $25,000. He was able to post bail and was released. Condolences are pouring in around the territory for former Governor Kenneth Mapp at the sad news of his mother's passing. Governor Albert Bryan Jr. issued a statement Wednesday on the passing of Vashti Hewitt Mapp, mother of former Governor Kenneth Mapp, praising her as a matriarch and as the embodiment of strength and grace. Senate President Novell E. Francis Jr. also offered his condolences on Thursday on behalf of the members and staff of the 33rd Legislature. According to Francis, Mrs. Mapp will be remembered as a woman who inspired her son and others in her family to pursue and excel in public service. From all of us here at NEWS2, our condolences to former Governor Mapp and his family. Stick around. The winners of the 2019 Fire Scholarship plus your upcoming St. John Festival events are coming up next. Welcome back. Two Virgin Islands high school seniors, Mojania Dennis of St. Croix and Kevin Hughes II of St. Thomas, have been awarded VIA scholarships of $10,000, each to be used for tuition only. The VIA scholarships are awarded to students who have already been accepted into a college or university to pursue a degree in one of the following areas: science, technology, engineering, mathematics, business administration, accounting, or related fields. These outstanding students were chosen from a total of 40 applicants from all 3 islands.
The experience to win the VIA scholarship is like I'm being able to, like someone is helping me, allowing me to build my future. Is like I've been given like an extra push or the tools necessary in order to build my future. I'm going to University of Miami, and that is in Coral Gables, Florida, and I'm going to be studying civil engineering. One of the things I would like to accomplish after I get my degree and possibly come back home, it would probably be one thing for sure would be to like create job opportunities for locals. Arriving into Complex, and I quickly arrived in the Applied Sciences Club, and in the Applied Sciences Club we basically work on stuff like robotics and underwater robotics and different type of sciences that where you like have to be hands-on and technical. I would have to say my heroes, or I guess my biggest motivators, are my parents, because in this life, there's like a lot of challenges that can be thrown at you and that can bring you down. And if you don't have a drive or like a good foundation to build yourself up, and you will fall very quickly. And I feel like my parents are that foundation.
When I found out I won the scholarship, I was really just grateful that I got the opportunity to have people instill faith in me to be successful in college. and put that money forward so that I can go off to get my degree. I'm going to be attending Syracuse University, and I'm going to be doing a dual major in international relations and communications. So I'm going to be doing international relations at the Maxwell School and communications at the Newhouse School at Syracuse. After I get my degree, I actually hope to come back here and share what I've learned with my island, so kind of give back, because to me this scholarship is a form of giving to me something that I can give back later in the future. And after getting my college experience and learn everything that I can from Syracuse University, I hope to get a job or create something down here that can improve my homeland for the better. My main heroes are my parents, because they literally sacrificed so much to give me the life that I have today. And I think that them instilling all of the traits, all of the great traits that they have within me has really helped me get to the point that I have today. So that's why my parents are my heroes.
A young local author tackles the topic of gun crime and cultural identity in a new book entitled Roots and the Baobab. Virgin Islands-born Jerron Richards shared that he always recognized that his talents as a writer existed, but journeyed as a young man to find his voice. Richards has accepted invitations at several art spaces to read passages from his book and hopes that the book will inspire young Virgin Islanders.
My book, Roots of the Baobab, it's a book of poetry, 88 poems. It connects to a lot of our culture and history here in the Virgin Islands. It seeks in particular to educate the youth. I'm a young teacher, teaching in public school for the first time this year. This year was a very remarkable experience. I was able to connect with a lot of the students personally, as well as a teacher. One thing I realized is that our youth have a lot of talent and potential, and they just need someone to actually bring it out. When I really recognized my purpose for being brought here on this earth, I would say it would be around my teenage years, as I started to read a little about my history, read a little bit about different civilizations around the world, and connect them to how I'm actually living. So I'm going to read a short but powerful poem, and it's entitled Crucian Sons. Youths of the future, we are sisters and brothers. Guns and bullets, they're not our friends, but history and culture, these we must defend. Synchro is sinking with young blood overflowing, young liars, young psychologists, young engineers, future archaeologists, all because of violence. Put up your defense. Listen to your inner voice. Them guns and bullets, you have a choice. Choose the road of education or suffer from inhumane manipulation. Can't you see we're fading away? Why waste another day? You ain't hear mommy bawling in the bright moonlight? Gunshots every single night. Do you enjoy crying, or would you rather be smiling? Would you be calm in jail, or would you bawl and wail? Youths, put down them guns. It's time we have some fun in the beautiful Crucian sun.
Make sure you pick up a copy of Mr. Richards' book. When we return, your pet of the week plus our NEWS2 AccuWeather forecast. Stick around. Welcome back. This evening, festival activities get kicked off in St. John. The Festival Village opens tonight, Friday the 28th at 7 p.m. in the Cruise Bay parking lot. The Children's Village opens Saturday, June 29th, 6 p.m. by the National Park ball field. And the Festival Emancipation and Torchlight program will continue on Sunday, July 1st. That's at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. in the Cruise Bay Customs parking lot. Make sure you travel safely to St. John and have a great time while you're over there. This week's Pet of the Week is from the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center's Adoption Center. Meet Miss Rosa.
we have Miss Rosa. Miss Rosa is a 9-year-old kitten, and she's a little rare for us because right now this time of year is kitten season, and she's our only adult cat right now. She is 9 years old, and she is definitely used to being at home with someone. In fact, Miss Rosa is a bit of a cautionary tale in that Miss Rosa is microchipped. So when we had her at the shelter, we were very excited. We thought we were going to be able to find her home and her adopted family very quickly, but unfortunately, Miss Rosa's family did not keep up the microchip. So if you recognize Miss Rosa, you can come by the pet place and see her and all of her adoptable friends.
If you're interested in adopting Miss Rosa, you can call the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center at 778-1650 or visit their website at www.stcroixawc.org. We've also featured pets from the Humane Society of St. Thomas. You can check them out by calling 775-0599 or by visiting www.hsstt.com. Now let's take a look at the weather for the next few days with our News 2 AccuWeather forecast.
Well, we'll take a look at your current satellite imagery here across the area, and you can see how we've got a few clouds moving across the Virgin Islands and the northern leewards right now. Now, just with the clouds going across, we may see a spotty shower around for tonight or tomorrow, but the big story is going to be not only some dry conditions for the weekend and into early next week, but also we are dealing with that Saharan dust getting pulled into the area as well. And so that is going to create some beautiful sunsets. So that's the one good thing about this. You can get some great photos here because of that dust. But tonight we have a mainly clear sky, temperature of 80 degrees. In St. John's, hazy with that dust and also breezy, a temperature of 90 degrees for tomorrow. Hazy and breezy for tomorrow in St. Thomas and a temperature of 90 degrees. And into St. Croix, we not only have the heat, it is very warm, but it's hazy, it's breezy here as well, 89 degrees, so you're going to be glad to be close to the water. And like I said, we've got those beautiful sunsets. Small craft should use caution on the Atlantic side here as we have wave heights of 4 to 6 feet and winds out of the east at 15 to 20 knots. And for the Caribbean side, also a small craft use caution advisement. Plus we've got waves 4 to 6 feet with an easterly wind of 15 to 20 knots. Let's look through the forecast period, and it is staying warm. A high temperature on Sunday, 90 degrees. Hazy sunshine, staying dry on Monday, 89 degrees, our overnight low 80. Tuesday, we've got hazy sun, and we could see maybe a shower in places Tuesday night and Wednesday, and some more in the way of clouds by Wednesday as well. Back to you.
Stick around, News 2 Sports plus Alex Randall's news and comments are coming up next.
You're watching News 2. This is Alex Randall with news and comment. Is this surprising? Is this even news? The opening of the temporary modular hospital in St. Croix is delayed. I mean, it's only 2 years since the hurricanes. It's been donkey years since the sewers collapsed under the emergency room at the Juan Louis Hospital. You would think getting the new temporary units going would be a top priority. You would think everyone would be rushing around to get the facilities open. Nope. Make no mistakes, the temporary buildings are pretty good, but nobody ordered the furniture, fixtures, or medical equipment. Kind of like we slow walking it. Since the modular hospitals are not ready, there is a rush to repair the old building, fix the old air handlers, fix the electric motors, because we aren't ready to move into the modular hospitals. Are they building this thing on crucian time? Our legislature keeps working on a bill to require taxi drivers to use electronic money payments. Our taxi drivers may be the last people on earth who only take cash. In the real world, people pay with credit cards, debit cards, PayPal, Bitcoin, you know, modern currency. So why are the taxi drivers so resistant to electronic money? Their excuses are comical. Credit cards involve fees or charges of using cell phones. They say our phone service is spotty. They say some of the drivers are too old to adapt to electronic funds. I bet those old guys know how to pay for things with credit cards. But let me stop laughing, because maybe the real reason is that electronic money carries a paper trail. And when it comes to tax time, electronic transfers can be audited. Taxi drivers like cash because it disappears. Maybe that's the real reason. Remember all the haggling about who's going to get the $40 million in Medicaid money? WAPA wanted it, hospital staff wanted it, vendors wanted it. Senate Rules Committee tabled the bill. Too many stumbling blocks. They left out the East End Medical Center and the Frederiksted Healthcare Center, and the governor didn't want to pay the money as raises. So they put it all on hold. But wait, last minute breaking news here. WAPA got the money. What do you do when all the usual channels of communication fail? Like right after a storm. The radio stations are down, the phone lines are down, the cell phone towers are down. What's up? Ham radio operators, they're the last to go. Running on generators, batteries, solar power, using backyard antenna, ham radio operators are the last resort. The local St. Thomas Amateur Radio Club held the Amateur Radio Relay League exercise this past week, showcasing that when everything else is down, they are up. Thank you, Henry Smith, for keeping the ham radios up and running. Big news out of the University of the Virgin Islands. The Board of Trustees met. They approved a new Master of Arts degree in social work. They approved a new bachelor's degree in fine arts. The degree in social work means that our university will train our own local social workers so they're ready to serve the needs of local people. And that Bachelor of Arts in Fine Arts means students can earn a degree in music performance, theater, and dance. The university approved a new relationship with the local colleges in Grenada and St. Lucia in the Eastern Caribbean states, which means students from our neighboring islands can study at University of the Virgin Islands at a cost that's closer to the local rate. The board also approved a new program in agriculture and construction of a golf putting green on the St. Thomas campus, just in case you want to putter around between classes. Thanks for watching. This is Alex Randall with News and Comment. Now back to Leslie.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be Alex Randall's final news and comments for News 2. Alex is off to a new adventure with his family, and we here at News 2 wish him well. We really will miss him. Now, Gary has some highlights from the NBA free agency frenzy. Gary?
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. Excuse me, but can you spare $200 million? Expect to hear that a lot the next couple of days as the NBA free agent frenzy is set to kick off this Sunday afternoon. Notable free agents expected to cash in big are Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, Kemba Walker, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant. Thompson and Durant will be coming off major injuries and are expected to miss most, if not all, of next season. So who is going to back up the Brinks truck? Stay tuned. Closer to home and my budget is the Summer Jam happening this weekend at Fort Frederick Basketball Court. It promises to be a great time, according to Summer Jam organizer Lenice Powell.
Yes, it's called the CBA Summer Jam, and it's basically on Fort Frederick basketball court. It also have the beach volleyball is included, and I'm just trying to have a community thing, having local brands, local clothing brands, and also food vendors and local entertainment and entertainers as well.
And if you get your kicks out of soccer, the USVI Soccer Association is presenting the Olympics qualifying round at St. Croix's Bethlehem Soccer Complex from July 17th through the 21st. Teams from the USVI, Cuba, and Barbados will be competing. Stay tuned for more detail. That's it for sports. Have a fabulous weekend. Leslie, back to you.
And thank you for that, Gary. That's it for our show tonight. We're live on Facebook and YouTube and on VIA Channel 4 and 504, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Follow us on social media and tag us on any stories you want to see on the news, or send us a message on Messenger. You can also email us at newsdirector@tv2.vi. Thanks again for joining us on News 2. I'm Leslie Camisiang. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful weekend and be safe.